Golden State gets past Houston 109-106, a 3-point win. More importantly, they are up now 3-1. So it appears another non-competitive NBA playoff series in terms of a possible Game 7 situation down the line. We're not looking at that. Fred VanVleet missed a 3-point shot for the Rockets that would have, could have, ended up tying the game there. He missed it at the buzzer. No good. That's it. And the Warriors now, you talk about stepping up, secondary actors, role players that play better at home. Brandon Podziemski with 26 points for Golden State. And Steph Curry, rather quiet, 17 points. I know you're not allowed to say anything negative about Steph Curry because you'll be struck by lightning if you say anything negative about Steph Curry. He wasn't all that good. Now the teams will get back to Houston Game 5. I know you're very concerned about when Game 5 is. Game 5, best of 7, will be on Wednesday night, and that could be c'est la vie for the Rockets there as Golden State will try to close it out, and they can say bye-bye to the Rockets on Houston's home floor. The better story is in the losing locker room, so that is where we were going to begin. And Alfred Şengün was the big man. Not exactly the second coming of Hakeem Olajuwon. However, he continues to produce for the most part in these playoffs, and Şengün had a chance to put Houston ahead. And they gave him the ball about 10 seconds to go in the game. He worked the ball down to the foul line with less than 10 seconds remaining, and he did not make the shot. A foul line jumper that would have put Houston ahead by 1 on the road. There would have been just a few seconds to go in the game. So let us discuss. We'll start with that, because that's interesting, the reaction to that. And if you didn't hear exactly what happened and see what happened, the question is, was it great defense by Draymond Green? Because that was the matchup. That's pretty intriguing that Houston, of all the players on the court, Ime Udoka would approach this and get the ball to Şengün against what everyone in the media is convinced is the top, greatest defensive player, Draymond Green for Golden State. Yet Houston attacked Draymond Green. So was it great defense by Draymond Green or just a bad missed shot by the Rockets' Alfred Şengün there at the end? That's the question. So I've got Lionel Richie, Wreck-It Ralph, and Silicon Valley. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a nice tropical vacation. The Rockets are one loss away from a very nice tropical vacation. They can afford it. They can afford a nice vacation. So my first thought on this, despite Reggie Miller on the TNT broadcast, who was, I'm pretty sure, wearing knee pads for Draymond Green. I mean, it was a little uncomfortable. Get a room. Just smooching and slobbering all over Draymond. Reggie Miller, what a fanboy. Anyway, despite that, and also despite all the awards that Draymond Green has picked up as a multi-time defensive player of the year, blah, 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 Houston, I love the fact they went right after Draymond. At this stage of his life, Draymond's just a podcaster. He's an older player. He's a podcaster. And it wasn't, maybe my TV was broken. I don't know. What do I know? I just do the overnight show. It did not look like lockdown defense by Draymond Green. It did not. Despite what Reggie Miller and the TNT broadcast was saying, I did not, in my view, see, oh my God, this is like a great defense. Holy crap, I can't believe how good he played defense. I didn't see that. What I saw was Alfred Şengün going Lionel Richie, if you will here, cranking up the Commodores brick house from back in the day there and 1970s. But, man, what a brick house it was at the end there. But he got a pretty good shot. He just didn't make the shot. And it's a make-or-miss league. I was taught that by Jeff Van Gundy. Make-or-miss league. He missed it. But it wasn't because of amazing defense by Draymond Green. Now, of a bigger problem for the Rockets here is Jaylen Green. What happened? What happened to Jaylen Green? That's the question for the esteemed panel. The Rockets star during the regular season. So in this game, we mentioned Şengün for the Rockets, who had 21 of his 31 points in the second half. And he had to do that because the guy that is the headliner, it's like going to a comedy show and the comic who you're going to watch, the top comic, gets up on stage, tells one joke, and says, all right, that's all I got tonight. I'm out. That was Jaylen Green. He was the headliner, and he didn't deliver as the headliner. He was a fraud, an absolute fraud. And what happened to him is he had commandeered, he was in the cockpit, writing the vomit comet. Jaylen Green in this game, as we so often see in the playoffs, he had 8 points. That's it, 8 points. But the story's in the second half. Houston was up by 7 at halftime. He scored as many points, Jaylen Green, as you and I did in the second half. Goose egg, bupkis, zippo, 0, nothing. He only took 8 shots in the game, only 2 field goal attempts in the second half. It reminded me of playoff Harden from years gone by with the Rockets, or Kitty Cat with the Knickerbockers now, and also with Minnesota, where he just vanishes for a game. In this case, Jaylen Green has actually vanished for more than one game. This has become the norm. And how bad was it? But wait, there's more. It was so bad that Ime Udoka benched Jaylen Green for the final, 5 minutes of the game. This is his top player. He wasn't hurt. He was benched for negligence, for malfeasance on the court. I mean, Green has been under 10 points in 3 of the 4 games in this series. He did have the 38-point game, but other than that, it's been a do better, be better situation. It's a bad job. All right, now, meanwhile, the Golden State, they win this game, so they're up 3-1, and to the winner goes the spoils. Everyone kisses their ass, says how great they are, blah, 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 blah. Now, Jimmy Butler had some interesting comments postgame. On TNT, right after the game, without naming the person, Jimmy Butler indicated that there was a player on the Rockets who inspired his second-half performance. And he indicated, without naming him, that it was Dylan Brooks, the big-mouth, trash-talking instigator of the Houston basketball team. And so without naming him directly, it certainly appeared based on the clues given and the way the game played out. There was a couple of minutes in the first half it seemed to take 35, 40 minutes to play, about 3 minutes of game time, because they kept going to the replay, which is unwatchable crap. I flipped over to a baseball game. Not even a good one. The Marlins and the Dodgers. Not even a good game, but I flipped over to that and then came back. But anyway, so Jimmy Butler, Golden State's star of stars here on this night, and he credited, it would appear, Dylan Brooks for inspiring him with some trash talk. So how does that sound to you? So the way I interpreted the Jimmy Butler soundbite, parabolic, a legend building is how I interpreted it here. Jimmy Butler, in the beginning part of the game, and I actually jotted this down. I didn't jot it. I wrote it on my phone. I have the notes app on my phone. And I said, decoy. Jimmy Butler, decoy in the first half of the game. It was a decoy. He only had 4 points at halftime, and he just wasn't aggressive and just kind of out there. It's like, well, you're wondering, why is he out there? Is he able to play? Is he just out there because he wants to be that option, which is not really a real option and all that? 4 points at halftime. And then in the second half, he goes Wreck-It Ralph. It was a turbo-tastic performance. Golden State, they started the second half. You saw the game. They went 18 out of the first 19 points, 18-1 run after halftime. And the playoff Jimmy was activated. He likes to downplay playoff Jimmy, yet he doesn't seem to have much of an issue with it when it's in headlines on the internet. And it's kind of this weird thing. He's got to downplay it, but yet he kind of likes it secretly and all that. So playoff Jimmy with 23 points in the second half, but 14 in the fourth quarter. He had more points than the rest of his teammates for the Warriors in the final 12 minutes of that game. So Golden State now a win away from a trip to the second round. They'll play Minnesota in the second round. Wolves one more win away from Hookah Luka and the Lakers being exterminated, which we can all celebrate there from the playoffs. All right, now last word. We go to the commissioner's office. We head now to the commissioner's office where Adam Silver was asked on what needs to improve with the NBA media coverage. So I don't know if you heard what he said. It was an interview he did recently with one of these sports business websites. Here's a little taste. Here's Adam Silver giving a lecture on what needs to be better. Take a listen.
Is there anything about how the NBA is covered that you would change?
You know, it's interesting. Your companies enjoy basketball. And, I mean, I respect the job the media does. And it's not a suggestion that people shouldn't ask tough questions or be critical or talk about things they don't like about the game. But I would say, and it goes exactly to your production company, Enjoy Basketball, that sometimes I think they don't spend enough time talking about why people love this game. And, you know, recently I was at a meeting with Mike Krzyzewski, former coach at Duke, and he condensed it with this headline. He said we should educate people about the game and celebrate the game. Educate and celebrate. And I feel I wish there was more of that.
Okay. All right. So the money part of that, they don't spend enough time talking about why people love the game. So where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on what you just heard there from Adam Silver? So I give this some side eye here. Of course, you'd expect the commissioner to only want positivity, and he did drop a bomb, the butt bomb. He dropped a butt bomb. Everything before the word butt and before the word but was tough questions. So he doesn't want tough questions. That was a lie. He said the word but. Everything before the word but is a lie. It was a butt bomb from Adam Silver. Butt bomb Adam Silver. He said it. But he's acting like he's in the Silicon Valley running an internet startup, sunshine.com, if you will, right? Now, you can control NBA media. The business partners you can control to some degree. And so there is a level of control that one has, like the website, which I don't know anyone goes to NBA.com, but those that do, the 5 people that go to that website, you can control that. The social media channels that the league runs, you can control that. But outside of it, the problem Adam Silver has is the people that pay big money for the rights to the NBA do that to get an audience and engage the audience in order to bring in money via advertisers. And it's basically a case where tell me you do not understand how the media business works without telling me that you don't understand how the media business works. Right? The NBA is actually the envy of Major League Baseball and the NHL in the fact that even though the product in baseball and hockey is better, I don't know anyone that thinks it's a worse product in those sports than basketball. It's better. The NBA product is horrible during the regular season. Now, the playoffs, it's not that bad, but during the regular season, it is god-awful. Everyone knows it. Everyone's aware of this. It is a horrifically bad product, and it's happened under Adam Silver's watch, and the media loves, you know, I can't say what they do to Adam Silver, but they love Adam Silver so much that they don't want to criticize him. Under his watch, the product has become horrific. Baseball's a better product. Hockey's a better product in the regular season. You're not supposed to say that. But yet the NBA, despite an inferior product where the players don't give a crap during the regular season, it's like going to Dave & Buster's and standing there and watching Papa Shot. You know, the Papa Shot machine at Dave & Buster's is watching in the NBA during the regular season. It's nothing but jump shots, three-point shots, and all that stuff. Despite all that, the Days of Our Lives drama, which is mostly negative, is engagement, and that part of it works. We're in the golden age of engagement, and the internet thrives on negativity. Human beings thrive on negativity. You always get some dope that calls a sports radio, I think you should be more positive. And I always say, well, you want me to lose my job. Because if I do positivity, no one listens. There used to be a guy that worked here. I will not say the person's name. Tried to do positive sports radio. I believe he is now trying to be a motivational speaker. He ain't doing this anymore because no one listened, okay? People want engagement. Advertisers want that. And negative things bring more engagement. That's how it works. That's how it works.